guys, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Vlogtober day 8. Yes. Vlogtober day 8. So this video is going to be about voting and the importance of voting. If you guys watched the presidential debate, as you should have, granted, we can go into, I wasn't going to get anything from it. At the end of the day, regardless of how you feel about either candidate, it's important to watch these debates because they're talking about important policies that are going to affect you. And if it doesn't affect you, it may affect someone around you, someone older than you, your parents, your grandparents, whatever. And so it's important to watch these debates regardless of whether or not you think it's going to be a train wreck, which this presidential debate was. And I think the debate between Kamala and Pence is this Wednesday, I think. Yeah, because I'm filming this on a Monday, so yeah. I don't know if this is gonna be up before or after that, but either way, make sure you guys are watching these debates. So if you did watch the debate, I think you see why it is important to vote. Now granted, it did show us that we don't have good candidates this year. People have their opinions about Biden and obviously Trump, and there's bad things about both candidates, right? We do have to acknowledge that, but I think that there are things that really that were shown in this debate, and I don't know if I want to get heavily into who I support, because that's just gonna bring more trolls to my channel and to my inbox. But this is what I will say. I think it's obvious based on that debate and based off of what we've seen the past 4 years, who we should be voting for, based off of my own opinion. But either way, if you're 18, if you're over the age of 18, you definitely need to be registered to vote. At this point, it's super important, especially if you're black in this country and you have seen what's been going on with the police and everything that has just been a part of this country for so many years, the systemic racism, if you want things to change, if you don't want to feel like you just don't have any say in, if you don't want to keep feeling stagnant and feeling like things aren't changing for us, then you need to do your part. Like, you gotta vote, not just in the presidential election, even though this is a very important election, y'all. Like, this is not the election that you want to skip out on. Like, and I get it, some of y'all are like, oh, I don't care about politics, I don't care about this stuff, I don't keep up with it. I get it. It can be overwhelming to keep up with all of this because politics is just so messy. It's so messy. It's so, I don't blame people for not wanting to get involved in that, but at the same time, it's still important to not get involved, but to research and know what's going on just for your own sake. And so, with that being said, people are feeling kind of defeated with this election already, just because a lot of people feel like no matter who they vote for, things aren't really going to get that better. I disagree, but if you feel that way, one way that you can, I guess what I'm trying to say is a more beneficial way of getting things to start changing is to vote in your local elections. You can't just vote for the president. You have to start, where you're at locally and vote for, your governor and your senators. And can you vote for the DA? I don't think so. See, I still have more research to do myself because so I'm 20, so I just turned 18 2 years ago. And you know, when I was in school, I wasn't really into politics like that, so I didn't really do a lot of the research when it came to voting, you know, locally or even in general before I turned 18. So I just didn't really know like what I was doing or what kind of elections even go on, or you know what midterm elections were. Like I didn't even really know about this stuff, so I'm still like learning and trying to get involved as much as I can, because I don't want to keep seeing some of the things that I've been seeing happen to my people in particular, but just in general. And so but if you're one of those people who doesn't care or whatever, at the very least, participate in this election. Like this election is going to change a lot. I feel like this election is going to make a huge impact on this country, no matter who is voted into office. But when you are voting, just please keep in mind what's important, what's at stake here. Keep in mind that we need someone that is knowledgeable about the position of being president, who knows what they're doing, who's gonna actually care about the people and do what they gotta do to make sure that our well-being is being taken care of. Like we're in a pandemic. If that alone should push you to the polls. Like the way that this pandemic was handled, the fact that our current president knew about the pandemic, knew how it was going to affect citizens, and didn't care to put the proper precautions in place to keep us safe, that alone should bring you to the polls, especially if you were someone that was affected by COVID, whether you had it or a family member had it or you lost somebody due to COVID. That alone should push you to the polls and encourage you to vote. You guys need to, you know, research their platforms, what kind of policies they want to put into place, who they plan on putting into the Supreme Court. Like you guys, and me too, me included, we all need to do our research and be informed and make sure that we are at these polls. If you are over the age of 18, and you know, make sure that you're registered at least too. And other people are kind of apprehensive about the voting process too. I mean, obviously you can either vote at the polls or you can vote by mail. There's a whole lot of stuff going on with the mail right now, but if you don't feel safe that the polls if you don't feel safe going to the polls because of COVID, you're afraid that you might catch COVID or whatever, the mail-in ballot is an option for you. Make sure you guys just, you know, Google is your best friend. If you want to look up how to vote by mail, all you gotta do is look it up, and make sure that when you guys are researching how to vote and how to register, that you do it by state, because all states are different and they have different ways of, you know, going about that. Me and my mom had planned on voting early, but she recently changed her mind, so we're gonna vote by mail, because COVID numbers are kind of starting to peak again, and so we just want to be safe, but also, you know, go out there and vote. I just feel like at this point it's no longer an option to not care, to not be involved, you know, because what these people do, what these politicians do, it affects us. Like it does. Like whether or not you see it, what they do and what they say affects us. And so you definitely want to take that into consideration when you're voting. And you know, again, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but just pay attention. Watch these debates, pay attention to what these people are saying, how they're conducting themselves on these stages, and just make the best decision for you. Also, and this is probably going to rub some people the wrong way in my generation, but voting third party is not beneficial for this election. I get it. I understand you guys want to have high hopes, and I don't want to sit up here and make you guys feel like your vote doesn't matter if you can't vote third party, if you want to vote third party. But we have to think about the end goal here. Voting third party, you're wasting a vote. You're throwing a vote away. A third party is not going to win in this election. yeah, sure, you and your friends could want a third party candidate, but you have to think about the likelihood that that candidate is going to get millions of other people to vote for them to the point where they surpass the Democratic and Republican nominee. It's more than likely not going to happen. And so, you know, again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we really do only have two options here, which is Biden and Trump. Make the best decision for you and make the best decision that you think is going to benefit this country and us progressing and moving forward and getting out of this pandemic. And yeah, and trust me, I'm not a huge fan of our choices either. Okay, if you would have asked me, now this is what I will say. Now, if I were to have chosen the Democratic nominee, I would have absolutely chosen either Bernie or Elizabeth Warren. I really liked both of them. I like their policies. I like them as people, and I really would have liked to have seen them running. But you know, I just think that at the end of the day, we live in a democracy, and so even though we have to go with the majority. That's the whole point of democracy, is that majority rules. And so if majority wanted Biden, we gotta roll with it. You don't have to like him. You don't have to excuse some of the stuff that he's done in the past. But if you want Trump out of office, you'll have to roll with Biden. Period. Like, you don't have to like him, but throwing away a vote on a third party that you know isn't gonna get that same level of support that Biden is, it's a waste of a vote. Just don't do it. If you're a Trump supporter, do you, I guess. And one thing I will say too is that Trump supporters have no issue going to the polls and voting. So yeah, if you're just vote, just vote. I'm not gonna get too political on here, other than just telling y'all to vote and be informed. Make an informed vote. Don't just vote to vote. Don't just do eeny meeny miny mo. Like, make sure that you're actually informing yourselves on who you guys are choosing to be the presidential nominee. And yeah, that is it. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.